Oh, hello, Studio 108 community. I'm so excited during this busy holiday season to be sitting with Abby Dosen today. Do you know her gorgeous smile? Do you follow her social? Do you read with her and discuss super interesting books? Abby has just been such a lovely addition to our community and our staff and our services here. Really, the community services, you think, oh, it's no big deal, that they're just the donation-based things, but they're really kind of the mortar in the bricks of what we offer, because they just create the lifestyle of what keeps people engaged in their own growth and development, body, mind, soul. So I'm super glad to introduce you to Abby today. Hi, girl.
Hi.
How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. A little nervous, but so excited to be here, and I'm doing good. We got the holidays coming up, and I'm just trying to tune into being present and kind of focusing on what's important and not getting bogged down with, oh, I'm so busy. I'm so busy. And
Super important mindset.
yeah.
Yeah. Because it's going to be busy. Everyone's going to be busy.
Oh,
it's just
absolutely.
like if you are tangled in the story of being busy, or if you're anchored in the experience that you're having.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we have too much to talk about for me to tell you about my trip to Heinens this morning, but seriously, that was the thing. And I wondered this just off task before we start, because I drove by Santa in the window last night.
Yeah.
And Santa was out on the sidewalk, like waving to the cars.
He's been out on the sidewalk all season.
Really?
Even in the cold, the bitter cold.
Did you take the kids?
We did. We were driving past and it was actually adorable because we didn't tell them, but my husband and I had been at dinner and my in-laws had the girls. So we saw him and drove past on our way to go pick them up.
Gotcha.
And we didn't tell them when we got them that Santa was there. We just said, let's go look at the Christmas lights. So we drove past and we're like, it's Santa. We stopped and we were so excited. And he is the sweetest guy ever, too. It doesn't surprise me that he's out there waving.
Yeah.
And, because
it's probably
he's just
done. Is it done at Christmas?
I think maybe this Sunday could have been the last one, maybe. Or I don't know if they run through Christmas. I'm not sure. I think it was Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays, all of December.
All of December. So you guys think about it for next year, because it's so incredibly cute. It's right up the street from the studio, and there's an empty storefront, and they have it fixed up for the holidays, and Santa is really darling. And usually I see like all the strollers.
Oh,
people will walk up. Yeah. So yesterday I was like, Santa.
She was really sweet. I saw so many almost teenage, like young adult age, and that made me so happy. Sometimes people give a bad rap. Oh, you can't be trick-or-treating anymore. You can't be doing this anymore. I'm like, why? Why not? There are so many worse things people could be doing that let the teenagers go hang out with Santa.
That's precious. Like how cute, right? Like they still have that kind of joy in their lives. They're not like embittered and doing, things that are destructive. That's just so, I love that.
I know. Just the little things, the little things.
Right? It's so cool. So you've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
We want to touch base with book club, but we also want to really spend some time talking about the book you wrote.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind, honestly, a whirlwind. And I feel it's been this weird combination of a long time coming, but also I can't believe it's happening.
Yeah.
So kind of that combination. Once I finally started putting the pieces together, it just felt totally aligned and everything clicked into place. And I remember telling a good friend of mine, it feels almost, where's the catch? But there's no catch. It's just happening. And I think when anything happens organically like that, it just feels so right. And
it does. Yeah. And the whole process, I mean, you had a baby through this journey. And so much. So let me give a little timeline for everyone. And then we want to hear your story. Okay. Because I've really enjoyed just seeing you grow in this way, like grow into more of yourself. Like the pictures on the social media are a lot about the motherhood. Yeah. And then you've got your social media for the books, and that's a whole nother conversation. But when I see you, I see like the culmination of the both. And it makes me so happy. It's very, very inspiring. So I think we started book club like in the fall of 2023. And Abby had started practicing here in the spring of 2022.
Mhm.
So like I knew you through yoga,
Yeah.
and you were like off to have the baby and then back on your
Yeah,
mat and like
yeah.
all of these things.
Mhm.
And then when I saw how Abby had such a developed like book idea, like she's a reader and it's called Abby Dosen Books is her
Mhm.
social media, and she's just has, and she was so engaged in the book clubs. Like when I saw that, I was like, oh, you're mine. I'm in here right now. And so you started reading the book clubs in
Mhm.
nearly a year ago.
Yeah, coming up on a year.
Coming up on a year.
Mhm.
And I've been so inspired by just the quality of the books you pick, the way you lead the conversations and people keep people on task, your investment in bringing just little treats and being consistent,
Mhm.
all the posting you do for us. Cannot thank you enough. Sharing the stories. It's like you took a real job.
Mhm. Mhm. But you know what? I used to be a full-time teacher. And when I had my first daughter, I stopped teaching and I was looking for that creative outlet. And it all hit right around COVID. I had my daughter in November of 2019. So a couple short months later, COVID hit and I was locked down. And that's what kind of led to me creating this book Instagram account. And all of these things kind of spiraled in the best way possible. And I think that's why I was so excited to start hosting the book club, because it felt like a sense of fulfillment in the same way I got a little bit of fulfillment from running my Instagram account based on books. And then I got another piece of fulfillment. And it was all of this fulfillment that's kind of brought me to exactly where I am today. And I have so much gratitude for every step of this process.
It's been outstanding.
Yeah.
So when did you plant the seed for your book? When did you say, oh, this is the seed idea?
Yeah. So it happened kind of slowly. And I think the seed might have even started shortly after my first daughter was born. I started thinking about that piece of fulfillment that I was explaining and asking myself, what is it? What do I want to do? How can I gain this kind of sense of, yes, this is right. I feel good in myself while also being a mom, because I always dreamt of being a mom and I absolutely love that aspect of myself. It's one of my favorite parts of myself, but it's not the only part. And I didn't want to wind up resenting my children down the line because I had given up insert whatever, which is something that I've heard from a lot of women later in life when their kids go off to high school or college or, young adult life, and they're home thinking, what am I doing? Who am I? So I really wanted to focus on that. So it kind of over the course of a couple of years was in the back of my mind. And I love reading nonfiction, self-help. It's obviously with the book club. One of my favorite things to do is to reflect on myself and then what I kind of bring to the world.
That's what I really remember of your participation in the book club as just as a participant before you took the leadership, was your curiosity and your interest in just being a good person through motherhood. Like, I don't even want to say being a good mom, but being aware of yourself and being self-reflective. That was I my best self? How am I relating to my kids? How am I relating to my parents through this, through my siblings, through this, through my husband, through this? Like those, you were asking those questions really organically. And I think that's like part of the seed, really, of the book. Tell us about the book.
So the book is called Realistic Self-Care for Moms, and it's a guided journal. And I really wrote this book because I could not find this book. And that's exactly what I told my publisher when I met with her for the first time. I said, I, love to read these books. I love to journal. I love to self-reflect. I want to show my girls strength and to show them self-love and to teach them all of that through my example. And I was kind of floundering for a little bit. Both of my parents are the most giving people ever. And that I saw throughout my childhood at times was to the detriment of their own well-being. My mom would say, this may sound silly, but she's an excellent baker. And she would say, yes, oh, sure, I can make you a wedding cake. I can make you 8,000 kolaczki. And she would just do it. And I'm sitting there like, but I know you love baking and that's great. And I know you love giving too, but also I do know you love to sit on the porch swing and read your book.
Yeah.
So, you know, just really making sure that I took all of these valuable skills that my mom and dad gave me and then made it even a little bit better, made it so that I could take care of myself too.
This is a really key question for mothers and fathers of your generation too.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
you're the generation that's changing the story.
Yeah.
In terms of what does balance mean.
Mm-hmm.
And my generation balance was work family. It wasn't work family self.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like a whole new conversation around the complete circle of what needs to happen for that family unit to function well.
Yeah.
It doesn't function well when it's work family and everyone's engrossed in those two elements and not caring for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Because then at the end of the day, you're exhausted and at some point you're going to burn out. And whether that comes out in anger or sadness or resentment, it's going to happen. You can't keep going and spinning your wheels and not taking care of yourself. It's impossible. And that's especially impossible in the phase of life that I'm in, where I have 3 little kids, a 5, 3, and 1-year-old who need me for all of their basic needs. And they need me for the example. They need me to teach them just about everything. Yeah. And when I'm depleted, I can't do that. 100%. I can't do it well.
Yeah. 100%.
I can try, but you know.
And I mean, there's your physical health. Mm-hmm. It's just like the all of it. Your life satisfaction, like the all of it really suffers when that's not included in the plan. Mm-hmm. Like this is an intentional plan. Yes. What's a guided journal? Tell us, like, what is a guided journal?
Okay. So I love this book. And this is so funny because I was just telling my sister-in-law, I said, I can't wait to redo my book. I can't wait to open it up and actually do it on the page, because when I wrote it, I was going through each of these steps. So there are 9 chapters in my book, and I specifically selected to do 9 chapters to just be a little added symbol to represent the 9 months of pregnancy. Mm-hmm. It takes 9 months to grow your infant, your baby, but it also takes, in my eyes, at least 9 months to do this guided journal. Yeah. You have to do it. And I mean, part of the 9 months of growing a baby is getting like prepared, all of you. Absolutely. Changing your lifestyle. Absolutely. And so you're going to do the next 9 months and just growing. And it starts off where you're looking at your basic physical needs. Mm-hmm. And that's something that seems so overlooked. You hear all the jokes about, oh, I can't possibly take a shower. I have these kids, I can't. And then we move on throughout each of the chapters, eventually getting to your sense of fulfillment. Mm-hmm. And figuring out, okay, maybe it is your job. Maybe your job gives you a sense of satisfaction. Maybe it is interacting with your kids and really focusing on, mothering or maybe homeschooling or something like that. Maybe it's something totally separate. From either of those two things. And I think that gets lost sometimes in the shuffle. Mm-hmm. People think it has to be their tangible work where they go and they get their paycheck. Right. Or it has to be solely being, full-time homemaker. You have to be that satisfied with being. Yes. Yeah.
And I think one of the things that I don't hear from you that makes me, it's heartwarming. It's a sign of just development of the society, is like, these are aspects that we can explore without feeling guilty. Without feeling like we're cheating someone. Mm-hmm. It's like, we expect you as a human to take care of yourself this way. Oh, and to consider these things. Absolutely. Yeah. And in my book, at one point, I even explained there is this layer of mom guilt that society likes to tell us. Oh, you can't go do this. You feel guilty when you leave, and blah, 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 blah. They almost plant it. Yes, they do. Intentionally. And it's not fair to do that, because my argument on the flip side is, well, what do you want to show your children? You're trying to develop their minds, and they're looking at you specifically as their mother, as I would argue their number one example. Yeah. So when I come to yoga, my girls know I come to yoga. And then I see them playing house or playing, and
I'm going to yoga. I'll be back. Or I hear them taking the things that I learn here at the studio from classes, from workshops, from the book club. And I see them, I need to take a deep breath. I need to step away. My 5-year-old, I just need a little time to be alone for a second. Wow. Sometimes she does it better than I do. But to see them actually living out the things that I've practiced through the studio, through the book club, through writing this book is huge. That's what I want. So it's so intertwined. The book is not for you to learn about how to parent your kids. It's not really even about your kids. It's all about you and how you can make sure that you are prioritizing the things that make you feel like you, so that you can see all of the benefits in your life. And that's all of your relationships.
All of them. I feel like there have been so many times with myself that I've practiced this, and then so many times that I've shared this idea to my mother and to my sister and to my daughter, like generation across, that there's like this personal space, and some people could call it like my side of the road or within my bubble. Like that idea that I'm taking care of this first. And when you kind of get yourself hooked into that idea, it's every single conversation, every single relationship, just about healthy boundaries.
Absolutely.
And taking care of yourself and your own scene this way, and considering all these aspects of your own well-being is like a great lesson in where that bubble is and what is on my side of the street and what my healthy boundaries are.
Absolutely. And I think when you are giving yourself the opportunity to first focus on making sure that your needs are met, you're able to actually be present in the other aspects of your life. When my needs go unmet, whether it's a basic need or it's a social need or a greater need of, like I mentioned, the fulfillment piece, when those go unmet, I get bitter. I get angry. I get very impatient. And I know I've expressed
super edgy.
It's like, get a snack. Go get a snack. Okay, you're hungry and you're ignoring that. And it's so easy to ignore those things. So easy. But when you work your way through my guided journal, you'll read a tidbit that I wrote at the beginning, and then you'll look at 3 different pieces. And these 3 different pieces really help you to think about, okay, what do I need? How can I do it? Let's do it. And that's why I say that it takes 9 months, because if you race through this, you're never going to make these lasting changes.
100%. 100%.
It's impossible. You can't change your life in 1 week. It happens over the course of months, years. I just looked back, something I have done, and I actually start off the book with this practice as kind of a precursor practice for the reader to get the idea of how the book is set up. I each year choose a word, and this is not my own idea. I found this years ago. Choose a word that's going to kind of guide my entire year. And I get really intentional about it. I do some deep journaling and try to figure it out. And I'm looking through the dictionary, Googling different words. It has to be perfect for what I have in my brain of how I want this year to go. And I look back, and I started that 8 years ago. 8 years ago, I started doing that practice. And at the time I thought, okay, I'll try it out and see how it goes. And I have this little notebook that I do. That's all that's in this notebook. And I pull it out. It's just the word. And I visualize what this will, with my senses, what this will look like, what it'll taste like, what it'll feel like, what it'll smell. And are you listening? Because now, end of the year, And actually, this is so wild. As I was looking, it works out that our book club then keeps on happening to fall. Not this first one, but it usually is happening to fall right around the new moon. And it reminded me again, I was planning a couple nights ago, and this was like an aha moment where even if one word seems totally overwhelming for you for the entire year, break it down into each month. Think about what you need in that month, and then do that 5 sense visualization. Think about and this is so silly, but some of the things that I brought up 8 years ago, I want my home to smell like essential oils. Like and this was me as a little baby. I wasn't even practicing in studio yet. I don't even know what I was talking about,
exactly where you're
but plant all those seeds.
Here's the thing is that you're talking about living mindfully always.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's just like getting intentional.
Yeah.
On the inside. No one knows your words.
Yeah.
Do you tell anyone your word? Probably don't even tell anyone.
I don't even think I tell anyone. No. I don't even think I've told my husband, which I tell him everything.
Yeah. It's a me with me thing. It's a me with me thing. And what's so beautiful about it is that we all know that these strategies can sometimes feel like privilege. Like they're a stretch. Yeah. That's great for you because you have a job and you make X amount of money, or you live in this certain area, or you have this kind of a husband, or like whatever. Like it's so easy for us to get like overwhelmed in our own scene and to feel like the inner turmoil of life. Yeah. Which is, there's plenty of turmoil in the world. You can watch the news, you'll be in turmoil. Social media will put you in turmoil very easily. Like all it takes is like 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, 10 breaths at a stoplight, at a red light. Using the moment when you're waiting for the kids or standing in line to say, this is my mindful moment. I'm just going to think about my word here. What would it be? Yeah. And to like pull yourself in. Yeah. It doesn't have to be something that's way out there. It doesn't have to, you don't have to make X amount of money or live in this certain kind of an area or have this certain kind of a partner, mother, daughter, sister, brother, like none of these things. It's just me with me needs to decide that I'm just gonna take care of myself and be mindful of myself. And all of the rest of the chaos is still gonna happen. Oh, for sure. Like I saw this hilarious post with these triplets going to Santa that made me think of you so much because like you never, like everything looks beautiful, but you're not, like it's chaos.
Oh my gosh, yes. Right. And that's what I think this is something that makes me almost struggle a little with the imposter syndrome. Yeah. Because I like to try and tell people it is not picture perfect. No. Look, my children today were playing so nicely and then they dumped out like 50 crayons all over my white cream rug. Okay. Best decision to have a white cream rug with 3 little kids? Probably not. But I like it. I'll spot treat, but that's on me. But it's chaos. And I think it's just when you can accept that there is going to be chaos, there's going to be things that happen around you, to you, that have happened to you. And a lot of those things you can't change. The only thing you can change is what you do about it, how you react to it, what steps you're going to take. And even in the support chapter, this comes up a lot. Your support needs. And of course, we all want the village, right? We want to be able, how amazing.
And honestly, I want the village to come to me.
Yeah. See, show up at my door.
Yeah. I don't have to weed through.
We need things, but can you also tell me what we need? Look at the fridge, figure it out. If you could cook the dinner for us, be amazing. But we don't all have the same level, just as what you were saying. It's different for everyone. And when I talk about the support needs in that particular chapter, I encourage the reader to think about what is realistic for you, because the grass is not always greener on the other side. Sometimes people do have different circumstances, and sometimes within those circumstances with support, I explain you might be resentful of a friend who has, a grandmother to their children who pops in all the time and says, oh, I'm going to the grocery. Can I grab you milk? That was how my Grammy was. She would pop in and she was there, nonstop. What can I do here? Hey, you guys want to do this? Whatever. She helped my mom in that way. And that was great. But on the flip side, if you're extremely introverted and like your space and you have the pop-in person, that can be enraging. Yeah. So that's where I say, the grass is not always greener on the other side. And you've got to look at what you actually have available to you and kind of just accept it.
Make peace.
It's make peace with it, because being bitter about the lack of support or having to figure out how to set boundaries with almost like over support, over involvement, those are both equally difficult in their own ways. And they're going to teach you a lot about yourself and about your relationships. And
oh my gosh, I could talk to you forever. That's so true. That's so true.
Yeah.
So I want to think about your book path.
Yeah.
It's coming out in March.
Yeah. So you can pre-order right now.
Pre-order time now.
It's pre-order time now. So it's on Amazon.com. It's on bookshop.org, which bookshop.org is really great. What they do is they sell copies of books, but they're fulfilled by local independent bookstores in different areas. So it's all over the country, but they will fulfill it from your local indie bookstore, which is really so
such a small
cool.
business plus.
Yes.
But it is available on Amazon.
It's available on Amazon for ease.
That is called
bookshop.org. You can get it from target.com.
Okay.
It's on barnesandnoble.com.org, barnesandnoble.org, I think.
So you're a member of our community and we really want to support you.
Thank you.
So pre-ordering helps.
Yeah, pre-ordering does help.
That's a help to a new author.
For sure, because it kind of gets your numbers flowing, so to speak. So then, with the algorithms and all of that, like the more, even if you say, okay, I'm not a mom, I'm not ready to pre-order this, I have absolutely no moms in my life to buy this book for. Hopefully that's not the case. But if that is the case, you can still also popping something on your social media story, word of mouth, telling people. I've had so many friends who have just posted, family members, friends who have just posted the link and said, here's this book. That is huge, because spreading the word then helps to get that out to people that I'm only one person.
Yeah. And with the social media algorithms, every time you share something, it bumps it up.
Exactly.
So it will organically reach more people.
Exactly.
Even more because it was shared more often.
Yeah.
The other thing that's really, really valuable to a new author, I know that I've got nieces and nephews who are young parents that are all like-minded. So I don't mind buying several, but I'm also going to badger them because I don't know that everyone appreciates how valuable reviews are.
Yeah.
And I mean, sometimes at the studio, that is marketing that keeps our algorithm up in Google searches to just get Google reviews. And every once in a while, I'll do a little promo for the Google reviews. But even if you could just click the 5 stars and move on with your day and not write anything, even that's helpful.
Absolutely.
But if people could do something like that,
even just on Goodreads, marking it as want to read, that even helps, because the more every time you interact with something online, it is, like you said, boosting the algorithm and getting, more and more attention to it.
Because we have a relatively small podcast following, and usually it's people right here within our community. So you guys get Abby as somebody you practice next to. She's right here. And so if you would take a couple minutes to do that, it really, really helps in a way that's meaningful to help her get started.
And I appreciate that so much. I really do. Every time. I mean, I felt we just did a cover reveal a week or so ago, a couple of weeks ago. And oh my gosh, anytime someone shared on their story or sent the link or even just commented or liked or said, oh, I'm saving this. It almost brought tears to my eyes because, you're normally super emotional. But the day that was all happening, I thought, wow, to actively see people supporting you. And it's, it takes a second.
It's lonely.
You
do that. You do that yourself. That's quiet time. That's personal time. So once you start putting it out and you start interacting with people around it, I'm really excited about this. And if you need a place to do a parent group,
thank you.
Excuse me, maybe you want to walk people through 9 months engagement of it.
That would be awesome.
We could talk about that. Like, there's always opportunity here. I'm always up for supporting you. All right, we can't leave without tapping in for book club because 2025 is about to start. And the first book of the year, is called
A Year of Living Kindly. It has a long title, Choices That Will Change Your Life and the World Around You. Yeah.
I want to see.
So I've tabbed. So it's on Amazon. Unfortunately keeps getting sold out.
Yeah, what a surprise. It's timeless. All right. We're meeting on September 5th at 4:45 for that.
January 5th.
Sorry. Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
January 5th is a Sunday, 4:45.
4:45. Yep.
January 2025, because we want to kick off the year of living kindly with the book, A Year of Living Kindly.
Yes.
Because that could be one word for some people.
Yeah, it resonates with you. It could be a word. And I've dog-eared a lot of things, even if you are unable to read the whole book or part of the book. I always tell people come, because truly you gain. I mean, we have such a nice little group forming, and then we love welcoming new people in. It's become this really comfortable spot that every time someone new comes in, you can tell, oh, what was I worried about? Why was I worried to come? This is great. You know, I think sometimes people get intimidated and think, I have to finish the book. You
It's not a test. You're not coming for the SAT exam, write essay questions. I'm more of the kind to come to the book club because I want to read the book. Because I want to read this book.
Tell me what chapter should I start at?
And I'm famous for getting about a third, 2/3 of the way through and just kind of fizzle out. You know, so I'm kind of famous for that. But it doesn't matter, because anytime you pick up a book and you read it, like even those intro stories are often like the biggest jewel that resonate. And everything is just like you're putting ornaments on a Christmas tree. Every book you read, every conversation you have just adds to making your life beautiful and nourishing your thought stream in some ways. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so there's January.
Yeah, there's January.
You have them in order there?
I have them in order. I know the February one is Why We Sleep.
Oh, February, because wouldn't we love to just dream our way through February?
Right?
It's Pisces season. It's the longest / shortest month of the year.
Right? I feel like I'm always a little sleepy. You know, January you start off and you're going strong. You're ready to make these changes and everything. And then February, you're like, okay. It's still snowy around here. Let's see. I'm almost positive we move on to March with Be Water, My Friend. And this it's the teachings of Bruce Lee, but it's from his daughter's voice. So these are some different teachings he gave to her.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have to admit to you all, I don't read these books before I pick them, because I want the conversation to be organic. I don't want to go into full teacher mode and start pontificating. So I read a ton of reviews and I try to, piece them together like that. But I'm very excited for this one.
I'm really excited for that.
There were some great reviews. Also, the cover is really beautiful.
It's very beautiful.
With the watercolor. So this one sounds very interesting. I have to double check if I have these in order or not, but I'm very excited about the emotion code. This one has come up many times. Rising Strong by Brene Brown. I feel anything written by her is always pretty
outstanding.
Pretty amazing.
She's just such a good storyteller. They're really meaningful reads. There's always something that's like, oh, I could so relate.
And they're accessible. So I remember the first time I chose one of her books for book club, I felt I read it so quickly. And I feel a lot of the people in the book club were actually able to,
there's nothing wrong with Audible.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I love audiobooks. I mean, I have 3 little kids.
I know.
And a ton of laundry.
You guys and Leah walks around with one earbud in.
Yeah.
And I'm always trying to talk to her. And then I realize she's like, and she's like, something else. Yeah. I like them for driving, especially, but
driving. Anytime I have a task, honestly, anytime I have a task that I don't really enjoy doing, if I pop in an audiobook or a podcast, it makes it so much more enjoyable. I used to hate doing laundry. Now it's my quiet time to just get in that rhythm of folding the clothes, listening to my book, listening to my podcast, and,
Mhm.
you know, finding little pockets of time that you can
100%.
make it work for you.
100%. We have
Yeah.
the, I know you have one more book.
Oh,
Say
that's
and
The Power of Now.
Power of
Yeah.
Now. Eckhart
Mhm.
totally changed my life.
Yeah.
What year would it have been? Let me think. 2005, 2006. When was it
Yeah.
published?
Let's see.
It was published a long time ago, but even before
Yeah,
that.
I think
way
this is the
before that.
renewed cover now.
Yeah.
Let's see when it was published.
So life-changing.
Very conscious. 1999.
99. So,
Yeah.
so I knew when I had read it, it had been out quite a while.
Yeah.
Life-changing book.
Yeah.
All right. So the signs for the book club are in the studio, and there's one in the bathroom. Did you see I put up plastic? Yeah, I was taping it to the wall, and I'm like, this is working for me. I think I'm gonna commit to this. So now there's a plastic little paper slip.
Yeah.
And there's one out in the hallway. Margot posts everything,
Yeah.
the canvas, and they're on the website. I don't think we keep up with the website in terms of the titles of the book. I think when you just sign up for book club, it just says book club.
Yeah.
So you've got to look at the social or the signs in the studio.
And if you're hesitant to come, if you're nervous for any reason, trust me, I have no judgment whatsoever. And just slide into my DMs. Message me on Instagram. I've had several people message me, and it's great. Then I can explain to them how it works, what they can expect. I remember the first yoga book club I came to, I was so unsure of what to wear. Are we doing yoga at the book club? We're not actually doing yoga. Sometimes they have a guided meditation for us or a journaling practice, but just come comfortably. I mean, like I said, you don't have to read the whole book. You don't have to read any of the books. Some of the greatest insights come from people who said, listen, I made it through chapter 1 and then life got in the way. But here's what I have to offer to the conversation. And it makes me so glad that they came.
Right.
Because of that.
Well, and that's one of the things that we can do for self-care.
Yeah.
Is take an hour once a month and come to a social group and sit with like-minded people and just be a witness and be a participant in any way that feels good and safe to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's been great.
It's been great.
Yeah.
I love chatting with you.
Me too.
I love having you in the community.
Me too.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to do what we can to support our Abby girl. And you'll look in the show notes, and I'll have the stores where you can pre-order. I'll have Abby's links to social media so you can find her personally. I'll put, why don't I just type in the book club dates and books?
Okay.
So if anyone's listening, you'll find those in the show notes, and that'll make it a little bit easier to get started. We had been doing month to month, and this year I said let's get a block, so we're kind of booked. Yes. Out a block of time.
Yes, and that should make it a little bit easier for you to kind of plan. I know some months get busy for people, but like I said, even if you have a busy month but you have time to pop in to the book club, come on by.
Yeah, and everything's at the library, so you can request early if you want. Yeah, and snag your book. Yeah, awesome. All right, you guys. I'm thinking this won't go out until right after Christmas, so we hope it was merry and jolly. And and thank you so much for following. Thanks, Abby.
Thank you so much.